I'm the Headless Headhunter. I'm a corporate recruiter here to review your resumes to get you ahead of your job search. So the resume we have up first is, and I'll be perfectly honest, I don't know if this person was looking for a full stack software developer role or an intern specific role, because they kind of said both, and the resume that will get you a good internship is not necessarily the resume that will get you a full-time job. So this was a actual success on my meet or yeet. It was a tentative meet. And I saw most of what I needed, so let me dig in a little bit more to see if we can improve it to make it not just tentative, but a yes. And again, I am basing this on the assumption this person wants a full-time, 40-hour-a-week, full-stack software engineer job and not an internship. So we have the degree up top, perfect. And then what we're looking for is TypeScript, Python, JavaScript, CSS, HTML, Node, Angular, Next.js, with like MongoDB, SQL, React.js, API REST, Cloud, Agile, CI/CD, cross-functionally, and bonus points for architecture, extra language, and Git. So we have collaborated with a team of 5 developers, okay, to build tools using Angular, good, TypeScript, HTML, Node, and SQLite. Good. So this is a little wordy. And here's sort of the difference between what you would want in a internship resume versus a full-time job is you don't need to say collaborated with. You can just say worked cross-functionally. Actually, I don't know if it's cross-functional or not. Worked, here's why. This part can be ignored, right, in a internship resume. So again, I am super tired, so I hope this makes sense. I got like no sleep for 3 days in a row. So you want to just say used Angular, TypeScript, HTML, CSS, and Node to build a customizable test data visualization tool. So you would put this up front, and then to do this, for managers and engineers. So that would be how you did it. You put this tech stack up top, you ignore the collaboration, but for an internship, you would keep it the same it is. Develop reusable Angular components, support behavior. This is really good. I really like this. In fact, what is this person's ratio? Do we know this person's ratio? We do not. The ratio is how many applications it takes to get an interview. So let's see. RESTful APIs, good. I don't really care about Express as much, but RESTful APIs is good. You tell me how you used it. UX design. So this you might actually want to say worked cross-functionally with UX designers and graduate students via Slack, GitHub, and Microsoft Teams. So I'm not really caring about Slack and Microsoft Teams for a full-time role, but for an internship, you keep it the way it is. So again, this is a bit of the differences between a full-time role resume and an internship resume, because in an internship, you have to show you can work well with others, while a full-time role, you have to show that you can do it yourself. Still want to work well with others, but you don't need to necessarily prove it. See, so co-architected a database front end to construct it with a SQL input. So my biggest issue with this is I like the word architected. I think it's good because it's also in here, but you already said SQL here, and you don't want to repeat the same keyword in the same job. Now, it's okay to do it in 2 jobs. So if you want to put SQL here and here, that's good, but having SQL twice here is a little irrelevant. Aggregated visualization, again, you already mentioned JavaScript. So what I am missing is cloud, and it is possible that you have not, used cloud. But I would, in fact, like some cloud. That's pretty big. Collaborated with a team of 6 developers. Again, you can just say worked to test, deploy. You don't have to say collaborated unless it's an internship. Different resumes require different things. Turkey admin problems. That's okay. I think it'd be shorter. Containerized using Docker and deployment. Okay, so here's AWS. So you want to shrink this down a little bit, and this is why you don't want to use irrelevant stuff, is I was only able to really get down to here before I said meet, which is good. But due to that, I would miss the AWS down here. So the AWS should be in your first bullet point up here, and this should be slightly smaller so that we can see it quicker, because that was one of the few things I was actually missing. Again, cross-functional as well, but that's not a huge thing to miss. But primarily the AWS, which is the cloud, and the CI/CD. So this, you want to combine this and this sentence and put it up top here, and then shrink these down just a little bit to, instead of 6 bullet points, maybe 5 or 4, so that we see that quick. And that was kind of the only real thing I was missing. So again, these are minor quibbles. They are not huge. I think this is still a pass, but I want to make it so that you're getting a success every 1 in 10 applications rather than 1 in every 40 or 50 applications. So to summarize, you have a little bit of extraneous information in this part. You double up on some stuff. You need to, if you're going for full-time, you need to change these things to, instead of collaborated with just just saying used X and Y on a cross-functional team or whatever. But if you're going for an internship, you want to keep it the way it is. And then you need to bump up AWS and CI/CD up here, because that was kind of the only thing I was really missing. And Agile, but it's again, you don't need all of these. So don't panic if you can't get all of them. The key thing, though, was the cloud, and cloud is very impactful. So I hope that was helpful. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And, if anybody else has any success with my stuff, I'm always good to have you put it in the comments below. I love hearing success stories. And if you need more help, stop by my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. PST, where on twitch.com. Twitch.com/headlessheadhunter. That is where I go over the keywords. That is where I can give you a little bit more help than I can in the video. And let's go to the next resume. This is a resume review of a mechanical design engineer in Canada/US. So this person, I'm actually not sure what their ratio was. It used to be over 100 to 1. This is their newer version, and let's judge it to see what it's good. So what we're going to be looking for, and this is, again, both in Canada and the US, it seemed the keywords were pretty much the same, is your degree needed. Whatever BOM is, just the word BOM, I don't think we actually need the management part. FEACFD, geometric dimensioning and tolerance, so GD and T, that was huge. Any ISOs you have, 3D printing, CNC machining, injection molding, and sheet metal. I'm kind of on the fence about if this one needs to be here. The 3D printing does need to be there, though. CAD, 3D, SolidWorks, those are massive. You absolutely need this. As per usual, Microsoft Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. And stress, strain, thermal, and fatigue, along with working with customers and cross-functionally. Those are what we're going to be looking for. In addition, this person is in my chat right now, and they stated they would be moving. So one of the very few times you would actually want a summary is if you were going to be relocating, and you want to put relocating to X by Y, can move earlier if needed. So that's what you would want to do, and you would put that up right here. So it would be right after the contact information here. So it would be where this line is. So let's review that resume with that in mind. And this is off. So first off, something's off about the formatting, and I don't know what it is. Maybe it's not Arial 10.5. Maybe the spacing is off, but something is slightly off. Second, your education needs to go up top. You can just say June 2025. You don't need to say graduated if you're doing the date. So it's either status graduated or the date that you graduated, not both. So this needs to be up top. Keep the GPA the same. Dean's honor list. This should be fit into 2 lines. I don't know if you need this one or not, but this should fit into 2 lines. And again, it should be up above. Then we can do this, which is a co-op. So perform static and fatigue. Fatigue, good. Components using strength and material principles, applying hard hand calculation, Excel, and FEA. So problem here is there's too many things. Again, it's good to have Excel. It's good to have that stuff. I don't know if strength and material principles are needed. And if abacus and nostrum are needed to certify airworthiness. Again, I don't know if you need to say 50 plus parts. You can just say airworthiness. So this is probably, and I assume the theme is going to be with this, is you have too much information. Again, it's not bad. It's just I would prefer not to have whatever the strength and material principles and abacus and nostrum. I did see 1 or 2 that said hand calculations is fine. So obtain part dimensions, tolerance, and surface finishes by interpreting GDT. So you want to spell out dimension and tolerance, geometric dimension and tolerance, and then in parentheses put GDT and T on 2D drawings, CAD models, and PL. Okay, so the problem is this stuff isn't needed. This is good, and this is, I think, why you were getting some interviews besides the formatting is off. This I don't need. You already mentioned this earlier. The landing gears. Yeah, you already mentioned this. This is a double up. It's okay to mention you have more. It's okay to double up on skill words, keywords, but they should not be in the same job. So it's okay to mention FE and A here, as long as you also mention it here. But mentioning it twice here is irrelevant. So again, this needs to be, so FE and A here twice, bad. FE and here, and here, good. Programmed a Python GUI. Again, you already mentioned this, and these are not what the keywords I'd necessarily be looking for. Python might be, but I didn't see it a lot. Collaborative doing this landing gear resulting in 85 test time. Again, there's really not a lot here. Gain exposure to high volume. I don't care about gained exposure. I just want to know what you did. So your problem here is this is about 2 to 3 bullet points worth of information spread about into 6 bullet points. So let's look at the next one. Take 100 bills of material, bombs, good. Cost estimates in SAP. I don't know if I need SAP, it's not. We're here for technicians and operators. This shows cross-functional, so that's good. Investigate issues with power with engineers, root cause analysis. I don't know enough about the industry to know if this was needed. I did not see it or this, but maybe those are needed. I did not see them though, so I'm leaning towards no. And automated data compilation by using VBA. So this part is good. And then projects. Okay, so here's my thing. You repeated the same thing like 8 times here. I did find bomb. My fiance's dress for the engagement party just came in right now, so you may be able to hear her in the background. I don't think so. For my engagement party. But I'm missing some stuff, right? Like I don't see CNC. I don't see 3D printing. I don't see CAD, which is gonna almost be a disqualification. I need to see CAD and SolidWorks. I don't know. Can I even find it in here? Yeah, there's no CAD. That's immediately bad. This you did have, and I did have this. So yeah, it's just too wordy, and you don't have a few of the things. I think this is if I would have done a meter yeet on this, I assume this is going to be a yeet, but it would be barely yeeting. You just need it to shrink it to make it more legible, and you need to add a little bit more of CAD. You absolutely need CAD, and a little bit less of the other stuff, because again, you have FE and A like how many times? So 1 time there, 1 time there, and then I confused it with here, so this was not as needed. So yeah, you have too much stuff. So that's kind of the problem here, is there's too much stuff and not enough, and I'm going to miss the stuff I actually need, and your formatting is slightly off. So that's all I can do on this one. Let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a front-end software engineer. This is, I think, their 3rd or 4th attempt. So let's see if they've got it all right. I'm expecting this to be, I think the last time it was a tentative meet. Let's see if this is going to be a better meet. So we want the degree, good, JavaScript, React, Angular, JS, HTML, CSS, and PHP, SQL, Scrum, Agile, RESTful APIs, SEO, WordPress, Git, Docker, Jira, Vue, Next, and bonus for extra language, Cloud, UI, UX, SaaS, and TypeScript. So utilized, again, just say used, not a huge thing. I'm not a fan of these types of sentences. Also, this should be in a bullet point, even if there's a singular one. Again, this is minor. It's not huge. It just makes it slightly more legible to read. So used JavaScript, TypeScript, HTML, CSS to good lead the UI UX development of a Bitcoin collectible. Perfect. Enhanced, again, I would... I guess this is okay to say it. Enhanced SEO metadata by using Next.js and React, improving visibility of product. If anything, I'd say improved visibility of product by... No, you can keep it like this. I'm being too critical. So manage tasks using Jira and GitHub. Good. Adhering to Agile and Scrum methodology for iterative delivery. Good. Built modular RESTful API endpoints. Good. Boosted front-end performance using server-side rendering and GraphQL. Deployed in AWS. So your AWS should be higher. Again, I don't really care about Versal, and Docker could be maybe along with this, but this should be higher. It's still a bonus, but it's more of a bonus than these. So I would say this should flip with this. I know you keep putting these in. I still don't think these should really be put in, but that's fine. I know I can't win all of these, but then use JavaScript and React to enhance UI product. Good. Functionality praise for users. Yeah, that actually, I really like that. Yeah, so this is good. Am I missing anything? Maybe Angular if you have it, but otherwise I like it. And do I have Vue and Next? No Vue, no Next. Oh, we do have Next.js. I don't know what I was talking about there. and no PHP. But beyond that, I think that's fine, because remember, you don't need all of them, you just need 75% of them. So that's pretty solid. I like it. I think that is a much better, that is a pass. I think before it may have been like a 1 in 50, and this would probably be like a 1 in 30. So, is there anything else I can really say besides that minor formatting issue? Is this the same? Right, this should still be 1.5. I think that's what you did, but this looks maybe like 1.2. But regardless, it's still solid. So that's all I can do for this one. And again, much improved. I want to see a success story on this video when you get a position using this. So let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a program manager. So I'm a little confused by some of the stuff they stated. They said they had a 1 in 25 ratio, but they've also been looking for a job since about 10 months ago, which doesn't usually track. If you have a 1 in 25 ratio, you should be getting the volume enough interviews to find a position before 10 months. Now, admittedly, obviously the job market is trash, but that's 10 months at 25. Something is off, and I don't know what that is because they did not tell me enough. So my guess is maybe they're being too targeted and they're not sending out their resume too much, but I'd love to hear more from this person specifically. They also said they had great success getting interviews until March 2025. That makes perfect sense. That part I understand. So the biggest job boom of the year is between like the middle of January to March. Every single year, without fail, that is the biggest job boom. That is where the most amount of people will get hired per year. And then after March, it drops off to where it normally will be for the rest of the year, with 1 or 2 little spikes in July and August. And then it goes down to nothing again until the new year. So it tracks perfectly well that you were getting a lot of hits between January and March. That is very normal. That is very normal. But now that you're not getting any, this is where your resume actually is. So you say you've been getting rejected with no feedback. Unfortunately, that you don't really get feedback anymore. But let's see what we can find in this resume to see it will improve it. But something's off with this resume already, and I don't know what it is based on their ratio and how long they've been looking for a job. So the industry is going to matter, and this is the part I can't really put all the keywords on, because the industry is going to change. If you're in, healthcare, it's going to be a couple of other stuff. If you're in IT, if you're in like a B2B thing, so there's going to be industry specific stuff. I just need to know you're in that industry. PMPs are huge. Microsoft Project and Visio, Microsoft 365, MS Office, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, pivot tables, cross-functional matrix organization, along with stakeholders, customers, and client. And this is the most important part, even though it's at the end, is how you succeeded and managed multiple projects at the same time. How you succeeded is huge. You can't just put it in, be like, I did X. Like, software developers kind of get away with that. Admin assistants kind of get away with that. Program managers, you need to be very detailed on the how. So, this can be deleted and replaced with your education, which I don't even see, which, maybe you don't have the relevant education. That's fine. Certs. Oh, here they are, right down here. Yeah, this formatting is awful. No resume is improved by 2 columns. You want it to look like this. All right, no 2 columns. These don't count because they're not in a bullet point. These are nice, but they're not going to understand the context. So this is the stuff we actually want. And again, this is very small font, which is very hard to read. But so I'm going to have to lean in because they have terrible eyes. They have a bachelor's in economics. You don't need to tell me. You just say status graduated. If it's been longer than 3 or 4 years since you graduated, just put status graduated. So that should be up here. Just status graduated with the bachelor's. Put your 6 Sigma thing in. And then I don't know enough about COPEC to know if that's important or not. But these 2 are at least important. This one, maybe. So let's go to the bullet points. I actually really like this one because it says the infrastructure. I would like to know what kind of infrastructure it is, but there's not enough. Own and implement it in operations, get all the systems. Date 3 months. Okay, I see what you did here. That's okay. Preferably to have you do it normally is do the months and keywords. you kind of wrote this in between the other type of resume format that I don't teach that often and the one I do teach, and you never want to combine them. You want to pick one. So I would, as you are a program manager, probably just stick with this format. I think is the best. Again, I don't know enough about you, but that's what I'm going to hazard a guess based on this. So architect and scale global collaboration, in-house BPO teams, serving creators across 5. What are creators? I like the numbers here. These are correct use of numbers. I don't know what creators are. Built and led financial ops team drove. This is great. I love this one. This is perfect. Launched and operationalized. What is operationalized? Too much knowledge, KPIs, legal governance policies. So what I'm guessing is the recruiter. So here's what I'm guessing. You got a lot of first-time interviews, and then during the pre-screen, they found out more about your skills, and either you said the stuff wrong or your resume was hyping stuff up that you didn't do. Because that's what I'm assuming is happening, is they assume you're in the same area, so they're taking a chance on the pre-screen, and then it does not work out, so they don't send you to the manager. That is what I'm going to guess is happening, because again, I don't have enough information. What is value creators? See, coverage across multiple time zones and markets is good, which I don't even know if people can read it because the font is so small, but this makes nothing. So interviewing candidates, again, the interview stuff is fine, but, and you do mention cross-functional, but like what did you do, bro? I don't know. Your resume is too broad. I don't know what you did. You did not explain it to somebody not technical. What is a foundational ops team? Elevated SAL performance. Okay, cool. But what did you do? Because this kind of reads like you were a recruiter or a recruitment manager more than anything. I have no idea what product it is. You need to explain it to me, and you don't tell me how you succeeded and managed. That's your big issue. So that's what I think is happening, is they look at this and say, okay, this is impressive. Now we're going to find out to see if they actually have the skills we need. The answer to that is no, because you don't write what skills you have. I still need this stuff, but like, what did you do? Is it just live chat? Is that what it is? I don't know what high value creators are. What scalable systems? What industry was this in? I don't know. And that's why you're getting rejected, is there's no information here that I could use. So you need to take this back to the drawing board, because you have some good sentences. I don't want you to completely redo it, but put it into this format. And then I want you to describe how you did stuff in a way that somebody with no technical knowledge could understand, because this is too technical. The live chat support feature I can almost infer, but if I have to infer something, you've probably already lost. So that's all I can do for this resume. The formatting is obviously bad. The content is confusing, but not terrible, but it's more confusing. So really care about the content, fix it in the formatting, and you should be getting more. And if you need to come on the stream or ask any more questions in the comments below, that's fine as well. Let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a ServiceNow developer. This person gets the shame of putting their full contact information above, so I cannot move past this page. So I do not want to dox them. So please stop doxing yourselves. I don't need your phone number and your area code and all that stuff. Just leave that blank. It makes it easier for me to review it if you leave it blank. So I cannot scroll past this section. So what we're looking for as a ServiceNow developer is your high school, not high school, your degree or your graduation, high school, basically your education, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, XML, SQL, REST SOAP APIs. REST SOAP APIs are massive. That was in almost every single job. ITIL was in some. ServiceNow developer, or CSA, which again is a part of the certs, and implementation. You stated you do not have all of them, and that's okay, but there are going to be some certs. CMDB, Ham and Sam. Sounds really funny to say, but it was in a couple. The industry, I put ITIL twice for some reason, and extra credit is ETL, GRC, IRM, Cloud, Agile, Scrum. So that was a lot. So first off, this is junk. I don't care about this. Remember, skills sections are worthless. They do not help you. They are a failure state. You're basically admitting that your bullet points are so bad that we can't find what we need in there, which is what we actually need. So then you have this formatting, which is so small. Oh my gosh. So stick to this formatting. 10.5, and it doesn't have to be in one page. Remember, you do not have to fit everything into one page. So I'm going to try to read this, but it's really hard. Okay, so this I don't care about. Stop leading your sentences like that. Provide technical self-capabilities, nothing there. This actually has a little bit of what I need. No, but then you wrote it weird and I can't see it. Client business rules. I'll be honest with you, I'm not finding like anything. Because you state platform integration API management, but then you don't tell me that here. Oh, here it is, integration. This is so hard to read. This formatting alone is breaking it. It's okay to have a resume that's longer than a page. All right, it's okay. Don't panic. The most important part of the resume is the first half of the first page. So basically what I show here, but it's okay if after that it's longer. You don't need to panic and do whatever you did here because it's going to absolutely ruin the formatting. I'll be honest, I can't find almost anything I need because of this formatting. Jeez Louise, there is some it'll here. No, but you don't tell me it'll. No, there it is. Oh my gosh. So stop doing this. I don't know why people do this, but they like add what they're planning on talking about and then put it down here. I've seen job descriptions like that too, and they're awful, but don't do that, okay? So I don't know if I can find anything here because this is what I'm looking for, and the formatting's so awful that I can't find it. Because remember, I have 20 seconds to find it. So I'm sorry to say this, you probably have to redo most all of this. So your education should be up at the top, should be up here. Then you put your certs, and in this case, you can put your certs ahead of your education. And then I need you to write it like this. I need a summary of your duties that an 8-year-old can understand that includes 1 to 2 keywords, which are right here. Then a keyword and how it was used and the result or the reason it was used. And this can be up to 3 lines. That's fine. But I'm not seeing that here. So there's just nothing here because it's so hard to read. I don't get to find what I need. And my minds are bouncing around. I think I found APIs, but I didn't see REST or SOAP. So I'm looking for REST or SOAP APIs, not just APIs. And I didn't see JavaScript, HTML, or CSS. I did see CSM, which I think was important, but yeah, this is definitely going to be a rejection because there's nothing here I can find. So you need to make it understandable by a layman. And that's all I can do with this resume. Please like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help me out. You can hit the bell, and if you need more help, you can join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. PST. That's where I get the keywords. That's where I can give more help than just this. So thank you all for joining me. I am the Headless Headhunter, and I'm here to help you get ahead of your job search.